What a day. What a day. All right. 1 second. Had to take a hit of the vape for this one. All right, let's do it. Hello, everybody. What's going on? This is D from Project Airwaves. Back at it again. My head is stuck in the clouds, and I just can't seem to find a way down. Welcome back to another session where I completely over elaborate on some random thought in my head. And word vomit for a while and hope somebody understands what I'm saying. Sound good? All right, dig it. Let's go. So in today's particular session, I wanted to talk about how I feel there's the type of it sounds hokey when I say it out loud, but in my mind it makes sense. It's almost like a destruction of our childhood. And it's weird because I don't agree with it. Obviously, when you put in the words destructive, destruction, destroy, that's kind of a negative buzzword. But when I say I don't like it, I mean it feels like history's being deleted. Like the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, the government, Illuminati, the French, whoever, the powers that be, it's like they just want to make it seem like everything was so horrible until now. Like we just didn't have good things. Like nothing was fun. Nobody enjoyed anything, or maybe not in all of its totality, everything, but it just feels like the stuff that me and you grew up with, the stuff that me and Lynn used to watch, and the stuff me and my brother used to watch growing up, it's just like those shows they're not around anymore. And I'm not talking about any particular specific show or another. It's more of the feeling you get, the type of mood the show creates, the type of group of people the show attracts around you, the type of I guess you could say like dialogue, the type of plot, the type of storyline and character development, and all types of stuff, like things that create conversation and cause you to think, critically think, I guess you could say, like on a deeper level than you would have to on a normal day to day. You know what I mean? So it's like, let me go ahead and get into some finer detail because I'm being very broad. What really, this is so petty. What really set me off, or I should say really made me want to speak out and actually record this, was I heard they're doing another live adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, okay. If you listen to our previous videos, if you've been with us from the beginning, for a quick second, randomly me and Lynn will talk about stuff we used to watch and TV shows and movies and things that we've seen. And I briefly touched on the fact that, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I grew up as a kid, loved Dragon Ball Z. Did I say I grew up as a kid? Didn't we all grow up as kids? Who are you? Where are you? As I was growing up as a kid, I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, Toonami, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, obviously, Saturday morning cartoons, ABC Family, what was it? Oh shit, what was it? I mean, shoot, Disney. It was like Disney DX or something like that. I watched all of that stuff growing up, and so the shows on there really gripped me. So, but my first real taste into being in the anime and cartoons was Cartoon Network. And I think that was the case for a lot of us. That's where I got introduced to Dragon Ball Z. I just said, Gundam, Zoids, Sailor Moon. I don't care what nobody says. I kind of accidentally got into Sailor Moon because it used to come on before Dragon Ball Z. So I wanted to make sure I had taken over the TV in enough time that my parents or my brother, well, no, me and my brother watched it together, that my parents didn't take the TV before the show came on. Because, back in my day, back in the mid, to, I'm going to say, yeah, early mid 90s, when cable was really becoming a thing, it wasn't fully accessible in your house wherever you were. We didn't have cell phones, obviously, that, you could just watch TV on. It was like you had a cable box. You had so many channels on cable, depending on what cable company you're with. You only got these channels versus those channels. So having cable was a big deal. But even in my household, we grew up a little better off. But even in my household, we only had one or two cable boxes. And TiVo. Oh, TiVo. Woo! TiVo was big back then. My mom friggin' loved TiVo. And so, I made sure I took over the TV. Dragon Ball Z usually came on at about 5 p.m. Sailor Moon came on at 4:30. So I would sit through Sailor Moon just so I could make sure I watched Dragon Ball Z. And then, of course, if my brother had to do chores or something else, I could, grab him really quick, be like, hey, Dragon Ball Z's coming on, come on. And so I accidentally got into Sailor Moon, not knowing a lot of these shows were based out of Japan, and that these were anime. They weren't cartoons. So I was used to, Tiny Toons, Looney Tunes, Rugrats, see, I'm getting old. Rocko's Modern Life, Angry Beavers, stuff like that. Mighty Mouse. Oh, I loved me some Mighty Mouse. Dick Tracy. Give it up if you know who Dick Tracy is, okay? The name is weird. I don't care. The man, he put Batman to shame as far as a detective, okay? You need somebody to solve a case, you call mother-loving Dick Tracy, my dude. Okay, look him up. He's amazing. He was a detective that walked around in a yellow trench. He had a yellow suit, yellow trench coat with a yellow hat and a yellow tie. Dick Tracy. Woo! Okay, all right, I'm going to leave that one alone. But that was, obviously growing up, that was cartoons. So when I got brought over into anime and I started getting into like Gundam Wing and Dragon Ball Z and all that other stuff I mentioned, it just blew my mind. It opened up my mind to a more mature type of content. Because, as you're young and you're starting to get older, people treat you more mature. And so certain things shouldn't follow over into your adulthood from your childhood. And so a lot of times it was like, well, you need to stop watching so many cartoons. You need to stop wasting your time watching TV, blah, 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 boob tube, whatever. And so with anime, it was like, oh, this stuff is not only mature as far as like my mind was, because I was like, 12, 13 years old. I do believe when I discovered Dragon Ball Z, maybe a little bit younger, because I did accidentally. Y'all tell me how many of y'all, okay, look, I'm going way back. I was born in 1988, so I want to say like, the early to mid 90s, okay? When you would go to certain stores, certain churches, certain buildings, certain establishments, like the barber shop or whatever, sometimes they would have the Spanish stations on, okay? And I accidentally, unintentionally, unknowingly watched Dragon Ball in Spanish because it just happened to be on TV. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, who is this little boy with a monkey tail flying around on a cloud? I didn't realize what it was. So then I got into Dragon Ball Z. I started watching that, just opened my whole world. And then I was like, Dragon Ball, what's that? Dragon Ball GT, what's that? I know y'all want to forget it, but that was the last time Gohan got some real love. I mean, I know he was ignored, but I mean, well, no, Super Gohan. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Moving forward, RIP. So, it's crazy how, because cartoons have matured and anime is mature, people have become more accepting of it as far as, the older crowd. And then, of course, a lot of us are getting older, so we already carry that with us. So when our kids, loved ones, little ones we watch, babysit, what have you, when they start to, get into this stuff, we're already there with like, oh, yeah, I know what you're getting into. Look at this, look at that, look at this. Don't look at that. Don't even touch that. Go here. Definitely start there. That's the type of mentality we have. And so when I got into Avatar: The Last Airbender, I was so far removed from Nickelodeon. I didn't even really I didn't even know what shows were on Nickelodeon. My last taste of Nickelodeon prior to Avatar: The Last Airbender was All That. Hey Dude. My Brother and Me. Oh man. Slime? What was it? Slime 2000 or something like that? Dare. It was Double Dare. That's what it was. Double Dare. And, a bunch of other shows. And so, I was like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, my ex-girlfriend showed it to me on Netflix. I was like, this from Nickelodeon? She was like, yeah. I'm like, this is going to be goofy. This is for kids, yo. She's like, no, watch it. Trust me. So I watched it and I got drugged in, man. Like it. Imagine watching The Never Ending Story. Okay. When, what was his name? See, I'm having an old person moment. I can't think of all of these references on the fly. What was it? It was A Never Ending Story. It was Sebastian. And then the other little Native American boy. Sorry if I get his ethnicity wrong. The little Native American boy. Atreyu. Boom. Favorite rock band. Atreyu. Amazing. Atreyu and his horse. Okay. And they were going through the swamp of woe. Because I can't remember what it's called. So I'm going to call it the swamp of woe. And so, and then Atreyu, the horse, start to sink in the mud. And then if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been. If you were just born, you're forgiven. If you're like not above the age of 20 or 30, you're forgiven. If you haven't seen it, go watch Neverending Story. I don't know so much about number 2, but number 1 was amazing. So, when he lost his horse in the swamp of woe, that's how I felt, but not the swamp of woe. It was the swamp of amazingness. So I was slowly sinking and I was enjoying the sink. I was totally cool. I was like, yes, the deeper I go, the happier I am. Let's go. And every friggin' episode, even the fillers were amazing. They gave you some type of insight to the characters, even the what some of us will call the NPCs, the side characters. Even they had development. The show is amazing. Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's 3 books, I do believe. Was it Water, Earth, and Fire? I think there might be a book of air. It's possible. I haven't seen it in a while, like all the way through. But I know those 3 books off top. I definitely got the full DVD collection. You know what I'm saying? I had to know about this show. I had to know where the show came from. This show is so deep for a kid's show. It's so deep for a kid's show. I'm sitting here going, bruh, I need Avatar: The Last Airbender, like season 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's how I felt. Like I wanted as much Avatar: The Last Airbender as there is Star Trek: The Next Generation. Okay, I'm full of references today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. I promise you, the childhood we had, those of us who are 25 and above, the childhood we had was freaking, it was amazing. So when I see things like, what was it? Dragon Ball something, the live action garbage. When I see Avatar: The Last Airbender, the first live action was garbage. Tom and Jerry, it was okay, but it's better in a cartoon format, fully cartoon, fully animated format, as well as short bursts. Tom and Jerry, it's just one of those things. You get a quick laugh and then you go on. Like Space Jam was cool. I'm gonna give Space Jam a pass for live action, but like the Looney Tunes and stuff like that, like when you see all of these things being forced into these live action remakes, like Disney, I don't know what Disney. Somebody told Disney, like the CEO, the head honcho, whoever the director is over there, somebody told him, look, let's make everything live action. We'll make billions. I need you to stop. I need you to stop all of it. I don't like any of it. Okay? None of it. I don't like none of it, man. Look, that's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. All of it is garbage. Okay? Like, I don't need the Lion King live action. That's called National Geographic. That's called the Discovery Channel. That's called BBC Two. What? I don't need it. We already have it. We have live action animal documentaries of lions. We know what they look like in real life. I don't need you to CGI them based on a movie that was literally perfect for its time. Everybody, all the voice actors, all the animation, that movie is perfect for the message it was trying to get across. That movie is perfect. It was just have a good time. And so Aladdin, garbage. Mulan, just disgusting. All of these live action remakes are terrible. You know what I mean? And it seems like, I don't know why, and maybe the voices are much louder outside than inside because, with COVID and everything, we have to stay inside a lot, and I'm not out in the world like that, like I used to be, even though with things are opening up. It's like, what's up with all of this representation? I'm sorry to say SJW, what politics? What's up with all the politics? Like, getting a phone call. Sorry, it's my brother. I'll get back to you. What's up with all the politics? What's up with all of the rhetoric, the unnecessary, it's like hatred of society. And I kind of get some of it from time to time, when it's more grounded, critically thought out, properly stated, spoken and or written down. I get some of it, but I don't get a lot of it because we've always been represented. All of us, everybody, even the LGBTQ plus community have been represented all the time. Nothing has changed. However, they, LGBTQ plus, and I, African American, we do not always get represented the way we want. to be represented. And I can totally vibe with that. You know what I mean? I'm 100% with you there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of movies from back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, hell, even the 90s, where black people were poorly represented. You know, at one point, a black person couldn't even act in a black role in a movie. A perfect example of Mice and Men, the black and white version, where they cast a white guy, painted him in blackface, and he acted like the black person in the movie. Now, for me to see that when did I see that? In high school? For me to see that in high school, whoa, like that blew my whole mind. My whole world shattered as far as like my, you know, that beautiful coding you have of the world and everything's made of like flowers and pixie dust and stuff like that. And, you know, there's castles and there might be a king or queen out there somewhere looking for you. They're long lost, question mark, insert, you know, relationship here. And, you know, they're just going to show up any day to come sweep you off into a world of fantasy. And you'll never return back to this normal life. That used to be me. And then I went through school, you know, just, it was crazy how real my teachers made life. And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense when you say it out loud. But it's just crazy because I had an amazing English teacher. I had an amazing world geography teacher. I completely flunked both of their classes, but they were amazing. My English teacher, she was my 9th grade English teacher. She turned me on to Hotel California by the Eagles because we had a sit down in class where she had us break down every lyric of the song and express like what we felt it meant or what we thought, where we thought it was leading to, things like that. And, you know, I was nowhere near mature enough or deep thinking enough to be a part of that conversation at that particular time. But looking back on it now, and even to this day, I love that song by the Eagles, Hotel California. Listen to it. It's beautiful because, you know, it's just like, it really made me sit and listen to the lyrics of the music I was listening to. We broke down an Eminem song in class. I forget which song it was, but I was like, wait. And she was an older Caucasian lady. And I was like, wait, teach, you know about Eminem? What? And she was like, yes, I printed out all the lyrics, no censorship. We're going to sit down and talk about it. My world geography teacher, I had him in, I think 9th grade. I won't forget his name because according to him, he used to be a part of and or own MJ Christensen. So that we called him Mr. Christensen, obviously. He was my world geography teacher. He turned me on to the musical world of Yanni, in film, Fiddler on the Roof, music again, We Didn't Start the Fire. And what was it? I think it was world geography, but it might have been a different class. The first time I saw Romeo and Juliet with what was the name? Leonardo DiCaprio version, which is spectacular. It is beautiful. It's just as poetic as if you actually read the physical text. It is a beautiful movie. And it's just like stuff like that had so much deepness to it. It had so much thought put into it. It invoked such emotions and just made you want to like leave this world and jump into your TV and never come back, because what you were seeing right then and there just eclipsed anything that could ever happen in this life. Like when I saw Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio version, okay, and all of their guns were customized with their names, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie is fly. It was just stuff like that and their interactions. And I didn't care if there were black people in there. I didn't care if there was, someone of the LGBTQ. I didn't care if there were white people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people, Oriental people, Hispanic. I didn't give a darn about that, because it was like the movie, the dialogue, the script, the plot, the actors, the set, the whole feel of the movie, the way it was shot, the way they cut each scene, just the delivery, all of that pulls you in and you get so immersed in it. You're not thinking, oh, well, he seems to be black, but he might be mixed. Oh, he might be mulatto, well, you could say he's white, but what if he's German? What if he's from Canada? Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of it matters, because the movie was so good. Like I said, the delivery of all of that was so good that I remember the lines of the movie. Like I just said, I remember the gun. I don't even like guns. I've said this multiple times. I don't even like guns. I hate guns. I'm not a gun guy. I have one for self-defense and home defense purposes, but I don't like guns. I love those guns. Also, Hellboy, the big baby, that is a beautiful gun. I don't care what nobody's. Delicious little gun. Stuff like that, props and like I said, the sets and just the way everything is set up and the final presentation of it all. That's what makes it good. Yes, it's cool to see a brother in a movie where he's not, acting ghetto, where he's not, speaking Ebonics, covered in jewelry, in a gang or, robbing somebody or, taking advantage of someone. He's not a rapper. He's not a degenerate. You know what I mean? That's always cool to see. And I don't care what nobody says. We had tons of movies with strong black male and female actors. Set it off. If you don't believe there was ever black female or strong black female main characters, set it off. I know it didn't have a great ending, and I know the premise of the movie wasn't necessarily, all like glitz and glamour, but at the same time, those females killed those roles. You couldn't make Set It Off today in 2021 and have that same performance. It just wouldn't happen. Those ladies killed that shiz, you know what I mean? It's stuff like that where it's like, oh, snap, like that happened. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that is like, I wasn't, and maybe because I am black, but I wasn't concerned that Queen Latifah was black. I wasn't concerned because you could have done the whole movie with white girls, and as long as it had the same delivery, as long as they gave the same performance, it would have had the same impact. You know what I mean? I love Robin Williams. I love Jim Carrey. I love a whole bunch of white actors. I love black actors. I love actors of every single orientation, every single gender and race and whatever, because if you're a good actor, I don't care who you are outside of that role, if that makes sense. I don't care. I don't need to know who you are outside of this role. I'm watching the movie not to see you, not to get to know you, the person, the actor behind the role. I don't care. I came to watch a movie. I came to see a show. I came to listen to music. I came to, interact with a performer and or a performance, and I came to be entertained. So I don't care who you are. Like, I remember when I was growing up, one of my friends was like, because I'm a really big fan of John Mayer. Love John Mayer. And one of my friends was like, he's racist, right? He said this and that, and this and that. And I was like, and? They're like, well, are you going to keep listening to his music? Yeah. Well, why? The man makes damn good music. And I haven't heard him say anything racist in his music. And I've listened to quite a few of his songs repeatedly. Haven't heard anything racist. So, and it doesn't make me feel angry or violent toward another race. It doesn't, it doesn't put off those vibes. So I'm going to keep listening to the music. Like, I guess I don't like him for that, but I can say that for anybody. You know what I mean? If anybody drops the N-bomb and you're not black, we're all going to look at you funny. You know what I mean? Even with proper African-American people, we don't even like saying it in most settings or environments. I don't even say it unless I'm in the hood, unless I'm with my boys. I would say back home. That makes me sound like I'm not from here, and I am. But you know what I mean? Like different crowds you interact with differently. So it's just one of those things where, when I'm watching a movie, when I'm listening to a song, when I'm watching a music video, I'm not thinking about all of these unnecessary variables in that particular art or in that particular thing, because I'm more concerned with the message it's trying to deliver. I'm more concerned with what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like what's the point? What am I supposed to feel? Are you putting in any real effort? It rarely ever, when I dislike any particular performer or artist or, however you want to address these people, I rarely say, oh, I don't like them because they're of their race. I don't like them because of their religion. Oh, I don't like them because they're LGBTQ+. Oh, I don't like them because of this. I don't like them because they lived here around all these people and now they're bringing that over here. I've never disliked somebody because of these things in my entire life. Like, race is so stupid to fight over. Like, it makes no sense. Race amplifies your uniqueness. Even if you're white, I don't care what color you are. You're a unique individual. So regardless of how you look or you know what color you are, I keep saying that, but I mean that's just what I keep hearing is color. You know, regardless of any of that, I want to know who you are as a human being. I want to know about your life experiences. I want to know the things that made you. You know, if you've done something amazing, I want to know why. If you did something horrible, I want to know why. If you do nothing at all, I want to know why. All of these tiny little nitpicks are irrelevant to me. Now, your life experiences and your environment may have led you to develop these things that I quote unquote called nitpicks, but that just adds to your character. That doesn't take away from you. And if you say something I don't like, or if you say something I don't understand, or if we disagree on something, that doesn't invalidate your character. That doesn't invalidate your life experience. So who gives a damn where you about the unnecessaries? About the unnecessary. You know, like when I hear representation, I get uncomfortable because I'm like, we've already been represented. Everybody has been represented. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry all of us aren't represented equally on all formats, but that's not how this works. There is no cookie cutter to how things are made, how that individual decided to create that piece of art, or decided how they wanted to say that line, or you know, sing that song, or it's up to them. It's their unique perception of the world or of their environment, and they're trying to deliver it to you in a way that they see it, and they hope you take something from it. That's it. That's really it. So now we're here, and it's like representation, this and that. Everybody's apologizing for offending people, and everybody's so sensitive to their color of their skin. And it's like, guys, we're going backwards. We should have adapted and evolved beyond this point. Color should be irrelevant. It really should be irrelevant outside of wanting to learn more about that person, outside of being more curious about their life experience, especially if you're of a similar or opposite color. Hey, how was your life compared to mine? You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. I'm not on this high pedestal, you know, looking down on everyone, you know, shame. I live a very blessed life. I have been given amazing opportunities. I have had an amazing upbringing, regardless of the shenanigans of my life. My family loves me deeply. I have a huge family, although I don't talk to half of them, 80% of them. I have a huge family. I have people that are looking out for me at all times. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm just trying to get my point across, I guess, where it's like, but why? You know what I mean? Why do we need more of? What we had was just fine. You know what I mean? If you wanted, you know, LBGTQ stuff, we had, what was it? The We channel, which was, or was it We? Yeah, it was We. And then because I think that was Oprah's channel. And then you had TLC, and then you had A&E. They played a lot of LGBTQ stuff. You know, RuPaul's Fashion Runway and all of these, you know, drag queen things, and Queer as Folk and Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and all of these things. And like I said, you may not be represented on all formats across all platforms, but even with Black people, it's always been like that. No matter what, we've always been represented in every facet. If you really look at it, brothers come in and we just take over stuff sometimes. And it's kind of funny because, you know, when I was younger, I was like, yeah, look at these white people, you know, they just don't understand how powerful we are as the Black man. And, you know, I was Black power. And then, you know, a few of my elders set me down. They're like, look, youngster, we get it. You know, you feel good, you know, about your color. And, you know, we respect that, but you need to tone that ish down. You need to really tone it down, because you don't know where it's coming from. And you don't know what you're talking about. You may read this in a book. Somebody may tell you this in a story. You may watch it on TV, but you were not there. You didn't live that life. So you need to take a step back and follow the ones that came before you, and look how they got their point across. Look how they conveyed a message. And that's, certain things like that. A white person in certain situations would never understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? An Asian person coming from certain situations would never understand what I'm talking about, because every group is different. Every culture is different. All of us say the same thing in 10, 20, 30, 40 different ways. So to try and get every single bit of, like, squeeze out every single drop of a culture into, well, not even a culture, not just one, because that you can actually do that, but multiple cultures at once, and try and tell you all of their stories at once while still trying to tell a story, tell a plot, drive a line, this and that. If that's not what the movie is about, it bogs down the overall plot of the movie. Now we're not watching the movie to enjoy the movie. We're watching the movie to check off boxes. And it's crazy because when I first heard it, I was like, I didn't think of it that way. But the more I hear it, the more it makes sense. You're checking off boxes. You're not enjoying that art that person made to have you feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? It's like with Sonic, okay? Perfect example. The Sonic movie. Sorry, I'm getting caught in. With the Sonic movie, when they first showed screenshots for Sonic, people were outraged. Rightfully so. That thing looked like a weird, mutated, disgusting blue thing. It was a thing. Nobody wanted that. And the teeth were, they were scary. They were nightmare inducing. People raged. They wanted it fixed. Sonic the Hedgehog looks amazing now. I still didn't watch the movie because I was never a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, but at least he looks good. I'm just saying. But it's like, that stuff I want to see. When you get something wrong, you fix it, because that's what the movie is about. That movie is there to appease to a certain demographic of people while trying to bring in new people to that particular genre or canvas, whatever you want to call it. It's still pleasing to the initial group because you're giving them what they're expecting. When I go to see Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, that was toted out the wazoo as almost like a perfect mirror to the show with a few deviations, with the hype train on full bore, I actually didn't even watch it the day it came out. I'm one of those people, I will hang back and see what happens, and then I will choose if I want to invest my money. And it got horrible reviews. It looked like garbage. So I waited till it came out on, I think it was on Netflix or something. It was garbage, utter garbage. So then, you see things like they remade Charmed. Don't like it. I love the original Charmed. Those women were already diverse as hell, and the people they interacted with were diverse as hell, and they somehow found a way to just destroy it. Like, just, there's a way of telling people who you are without having to physically come out and say it, without having to demean somebody else to get your point across. In the original Charmed, at no point in time did anybody's race come into play in that whole TV show. I say that confidently. At no point in time did anybody's race come into play in that show. Everything was delivered through the plot, through the characters' dialogue, not without specifically explicitly stating this or that, through their interaction and through the overall environment or the way they shot the shot. When you watch Forrest Gump, you don't need to have a history, or I'm sorry, you don't need to have a background in Black history to know in Forrest Gump, Bubba was probably not the most well-off African-American male that Forrest Gump could have interacted with. However, they still got his story across in a way that you remembered it, in a way that made the story, kind of gave it more meat, and in a way that made you feel like you were getting to know this person. I don't think anybody gave a damn about Bubba Gump's sexual orientation, religious preferences, who he liked, who he voted for, who he didn't like, who, what his Instagram looked like, what his Snapchat looked like, his Twitter feed. Nobody cared because the movie itself was an amazing movie. So I hear stuff like, oh, they're doing a live action remake of the Powerpuff Girls. Why? Now, don't get it twisted. The live action we've done here in America is garbage. The live action they do overseas in like Japan, China, Korea, they got it right. And it's not perfect, but dagnabbit, they got it real close. Rurouni Kenshin live action, I'm going to watch that tonight. I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, I would love if I saw, okay, This was an obscure cartoon back in the day. Not a lot of people saw it. It's called S Cry Ed. That's S-Cry-Ed. It was kind of a short series. If they did an S Cry Ed live action, me and Lynn would lose our ish, man. We would just lose it. That TV show had us, or that anime had us in tears, okay? A lot of these TV shows and animes and cartoons and whatevers, the original is so good. It's so perfect. You don't have to do anything else with it. You really don't. Star Wars. Y'all could have left that alone. It would have been fine. I just don't understand why we keep pushing this. I don't even want to say pushing the envelope because they're not doing anything new and innovative. They're literally just remaking old stuff. Cruella, Baby Girl, wow. Maleficent. Why? Was it a good movie? Yeah. Visually, it was a beautiful movie, but why? What was the point? It made you have sympathy for the bad guy? I'm good. Like, the whole point of the original story is it's a one-off. Most of these stories, movies, TV shows, or whatever, they're not supposed to have sequels. That's why they didn't go on for 20, 30, 40, 50 seasons. They went as long as they could. They did the best they could. They did the best they could. And you took what you got out of it. That was it. But people are completely reworking and discombobulating these wonderful IPs that we grew up with. Why? Why don't you just make new stuff? I don't get it. Why do you have to ruin perfectly good content, perfectly good TV shows, cartoons, movies, music, anime? Why do you have to ruin that when you could just make something original and just say inspired by? You want to make a Star Wars remake? Go for it, pimpin'. Just put inspired by Star Wars. Call it Galaxy Affairs. I don't know. Call it the turbulent Milky Way. I don't know. But why did you need to use the Star Wars moniker to tell a story that is not Star Wars? Why are we doing this? Or I should say, why are they doing this to us? I want to be entertained. I love watching movies. I was a very depressed little boy. And that's just because I had mental issues and I didn't understand a lot of stuff, but I do now. But I was very depressed. And a lot of these movies took me out of that depression because they gave me an escape from my life. Video games gave me an escape from my life, from that dark side I was going through. So to now come back and it's like, oh snap, they're remaking this. Oh, they're doing this in the live action. I want to get excited and I can't. I'm automatically disappointed. Okay. They made a live action Winx Club. I didn't even watch the Winx Club. And I was disappointed because even though I didn't watch it, I caught pieces of it. It was on what? Disney XD? I think it was like Disney XD, maybe Cartoon Network for a hot minute. I was more into Spy Girls and Kim Possible because I don't know why. But apparently there were just no strong female characters anywhere when I was growing up. I don't understand. It's like, and we're canceling movies and we're removing stuff and we're deleting things. And it's like, y'all, I get it. The past wasn't perfect. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't exactly the way you wanted. And yes, a lot of us probably wouldn't have felt comfortable. My hand is raised. Hands, toes, arms, everything. If I could levitate, I would. I know life was not better back in the 60s than it is now for black people. I get that. But at the same time, we should be learning to work with these people. Anybody. When I say these people, just insert anybody in there that you want. Because regardless of what white people did to black people, what black people are still doing to black people, what white people are still doing to black people, what anybody else is doing to black people, we need to learn to work together. We need to find a commonality. We need to find a way to coexist with each other. We need to find a way to save the planet. No, I'm not a part of the global warming, talk, but at the same time, I can tell, you can see what we're doing to the planet. We're not learning to coexist with it. We're fighting against it. We're terraforming it for something else. We're utilizing resources for no reason. People are still living homeless on the street. Kids are still going hungry. Like, we have much bigger problems to worry about, people. And I know you've heard this 6 ways to China, but damn it, I gotta say something now. We have much bigger things to worry about than if you feel represented in a movie, than if you feel represented in a daggone commercial. Really? For razors? Really? Because I get it. Every single thing is not going to hit you the same way it hits me. But the fact of the matter is, if it gets the point across to even one person, then what's the problem? Then it did its job. If I watch a commercial that makes me want to buy a daggone Dr. Pepper, I'm gonna go buy a Dr. Pepper. I don't need to feel like I was represented in a Dr. Pepper commercial. I don't care. I don't care. The movie Cats. I never watched the movie Cats. However, I love the producers. That is a beautiful musical. I'm not gonna watch Cats. So then why would I sit here and complain about representation in Cats? You know what I mean? Like, what? People are focusing on all the wrong stuff. Can we get back to being entertained? We need to get on the right track. We need to stop moving so fast with technology, back it up, and take care of the people who aren't on our level. I thought that was the point. You know what I mean? I guess I was just one of those kids who thought, like, going from the Flintstones to the Jetsons, I was just like, yeah. The 2000s and 3000s are going to be amazing. Flying cars, we're living in the sky, and all this stuff. And it's just like, we're still here, man, on the ground, head in the cloud, because we don't like it down here anymore, you know? But hey, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I am. I really hope I am. Because stuff's getting weird, and I'm worried. I'm really worried. But no matter what, you got to have hope. Because at the end of the day, that's what changes lives and saves lives. And hope for a better tomorrow, for a light at the end of the tunnel. That's all I got. This is D, Project Airwaves. End of another session. You made it through. Woohoo. For those of you that made it this far, thank you so much. You are amazing. For those of you who didn't make it this far, hope you enjoyed what you listened to. I appreciate your time. Shout out to our patrons. Shout out to all of our followers on Anchor. Thank you to all of you who are friends with us on Facebook, who follow us, and who give us your love and support. We appreciate it. Hit us up. I'll put all the links in the description. You guys take it easy. Have a beautiful evening. Love your faces. Mwah.